Hi traders, there's a really good opportunity to sell the US dollar Canadian dollar pair that's coming up in this week. And this was all set up from last Friday's jobs report that came out of the Canadian economy. It was a really strong jobs number, and that's two really strong jobs numbers in a row. And that's led the markets to see that as a really good opportunity to buy Canadian dollars in anticipation of an interest rate rise at their January meeting, January the 17th, which is Wednesday week. Um, Prior to this really good jobs report, the markets were pricing in about a 40-50% chance of a rate hike at January. But after this a really good jobs number came out last Friday, that has been increased to around 70 or 80%. So all of a sudden, there's a little bit of repricing going on as the market's buying Canadian dollars. And it's worth just seeing the history of what's going on here to understand the context and the significance of the strong jobs number. Basically, what happened is around September the 6th, I think it was, the Bank of Canada surprised the market with an interest rate rise. The Canadian dollar was bought, so that's a sell US dollar Canadian dollar here, and I sold into that and made some points on that surprise rate hike. A really good opportunity to make a few quick points, and as the price sold down, the obvious sort of question was, does this mean the Bank of Canada is going to be embarking on a cycle of hiking rates? And that was the question that was on everybody's minds. What does this mean? To what extent is the Bank of Canada going to be raising interest rates? And the Bank of Canada sort of answered that, and it was around October time. They sort of came out and said, "Oh well, we're thinking about being cautious about raising interest rate rises." And so everyone thought, okay, they've kind of about this isn't going to be a cycle of interest rate rises, and so the Canadian dollar was sold off again, and US dollar Canadian dollar appreciated on the back of those comments out of the Bank of Canada, their Governor Pollock's. Then, okay, you've had price sort of ranging, and what it's come to pass is that when Pollock says cautious, he doesn't necessarily mean not hiking. It's more of a vague term than perhaps you would necessarily think the word caution would mean. So obviously, you've got to read into what does it mean to be cautious, and he's sort of come out subsequently and given it a softer meaning than perhaps the market was thinking. So it means that rate hikes aren't necessarily off the table. Now, the Canadian economy is doing really well, and these two subsequent strong job numbers, the second one being of last Friday, has just rekindled the market's anticipation of the Bank of Canada raising interest rates. And the Bank of Canada recently has had a bit of a habit of surprising the market. They haven't been very good at informing the market what they're doing. Now, as traders, that's fantastic because this gives us opportunities for surprises, and surprises mean larger moves, bigger volatility, and good opportunity to make some money from. And that's the situation that we're in. With those good with those good job numbers coming out, I took that as an opportunity to sell US dollar Canadian dollar. Now I got in around 1.38, somewhere like that. I got in pretty quickly because it's a position that I want to hold. And what my plan is to do is to sell, and I'm putting my stops just above this weekly level here, and I'm looking to play down into the support level here, 1.22, 1.218, something like that, that kind of number. And the way I'm going to do it is on Monday, we've got the Bank of there's a business survey that's coming out of Canada, and the business survey is on Monday. It's coming out at 3:30 GMT time, and what they do is they interview 100 of the leading businesses in Canada, get a sense of how they're feeling, what are they thinking about business. And that's a really good forward guidance as to what the Bank of Canada is going to do regarding interest rates. So if that survey comes out and all the businesses are feeling really bullish, then great, fantastic opportunity to carry on buying the Canadian dollar. And I think that there's going to be a lot of Canadian dollar buying if that survey is bullish on Monday, right into the event on the 17th of January, because the anticipation is for the Bank of Canada to increase interest rates. And it's really playing, if that is the case, that plays into the hand, because the Bank of Canada like to surprise markets. And so the market's going to be really, working extra hard to try to second guess what the surprise is going to be. So that is the plan. What will change my plan if the business survey is really bearish and it's going to look like there's going to be putting brakes on? That would change my plan. So I'm in already. If it's bullish from the from the Canadian business survey, if it's bullish, I'm going to look to further add positions. If I get a retrace, I want to add another position, and I'll probably add another position here about 1.24, 1.245, something like that. So I'll leverage just 1 to 2, and then looking to play down 1.21. So either hit that level before Wednesday, or if I don't hit that level before Wednesday, look to take profit, probably or possibly with any interest rate rise. That's the plan. If you want to see how it panned out for me, look at my trade diary at the bottom of this video. Leave any comments, just leave any comments. Good opportunity, maybe you could join along, check out that business survey, don't forget, on the Monday, and it could be really good opportunities to short US dollar, Canadian dollar. Worth mentioning the oil markets, because the oil market has a big influence on the Canadian dollar. The oil market has been strong recently, and that tends to underpin the Canadian dollar. So just keep an eye on the oil markets as well. But I think this is going to be the big driver at the moment, is going to be the expected interest rate rise from the Bank of Canada or otherwise. Okay, guys, check it out. I hope you have a good day. Bye.